There we go, folks. We're live and direct, beaming from the satellite above the earth, straight down to your front rooms. Me and Bobby.
You sounded like a Radio 1 DJ there from
Yeah.
How are you, Paul? Okay?
Cracking.
I'll just say hello to the Real Honest Ghost. How you doing, pal? And the lovely Kelsey. Good to see you back. So, it's been a cracking week this week, Paul.
It has. Been cracking today. It's been lovely.
Have you had nice weather?
Yeah, it's been really hot today.
Yeah.
But, yesterday was a little bit of a washout. It didn't rain, but it was a bit cool.
Yeah. Well, it's been last couple of days here has been a bit close, what we call close. But,
it's
been very moggy, but it's been warm. So it's been one of those where you what I call a sticky sleep. You work, you're tossing and turning.
Oh, I haven't had a sticky sleep for a long time.
I knew you'd say that. I knew you'd say that.
Oh, you've got things flying through my mind now. The days of Christmas past.
Oh, hey, have gone for me and all. Just a bucket. Give me a fortnight's notice. I need plenty of notice now.
Yeah, well, there you go.
There's none of that passing in corridor and having a little play. Oh no, that doesn't happen anymore.
No, maybe it bloody doesn't.
Well, when you're 20, Paul, and your testosterone's levels are flying through.
Can't keep your hand off each other, can you? Really?
You can't get off, but you can't get on bus safely, can you? Because
no,
it's too bumpy. It's
anyway. We'll stop talking. We'll stop talking on the whatever side we were talking on. I've forgotten what you call it now.
What's that?
That side.
That side.
That side.
It's a bit risque.
The risque. That's the word. You see, risque. You come up with the words. I can. Well, I need a nudge. Somebody needs to nudge and say, "Oh, it's this word you need to be using." So yeah.
Yeah, but we're Yorkshire lads.
Evening, early love.
We're born and bred. Everybody
Yorkshire born, Yorkshire bred, strong in the arm, thick in the head.
Everybody thinks we have a whippet and a flat cap. Well, I've got the flat cap. My dad used to have a whippet.
I couldn't eat a full one.
He used to have a whippet, my dad, as a kid. Tell me tales about it. But we're stereotyped, aren't we? It's because of that bloody Ovis advert. That did it all, didn't it?
It did, yeah.
Everybody thinks we're living 1950s.
Half of us think we should do.
The Real Honest Ghost agreeing with you. I don't know what you said.
I don't know.
It's always safe to agree with Paul.
It is. Otherwise, I might go off on one. I don't often go off on one. But there you go.
I were a strange breed at Yorkshire folk.
We are.
Having a Yorkshire word that everybody I grew up with, and I've told it's a different meaning now. When I grew up, a Yorkshire person was called a tyke.
Yeah.
Now some say Yorkshire kids are called tykes. Now I say, look, if you weren't behaving when you were a kid, my father might say you little tyke.
Yeah.
But I believe we're all tykes. Well, now I don't know where that word comes from, but that's what.
I've no idea, quite honestly. But yeah, we're tykes.
Yeah.
It's not a derogatory term, is it?
No.
Well, I don't take it as a derogatory
No, I don't.
Term.
No, it's. I don't know where the word comes from, but it's an old word, isn't it?
Yeah. So it's old, old. Not last century. It's
Oh, yes.
a lot of years ago. Huggins.
You see, if you look in dictionary, it says a small child, especially a cheeky or mischievous one.
Yeah.
That's just tyke. So if I put Yorkshire tyke, see what that says. Yorkshire tyke.
Yeah, I don't really know, to tell you the truth.
You're not right bothered, are you?
But well, you're the one you're the Googler.
Now then, when you put Yorkshire tyke, it says an English dialect of Northern England spoken in the English county of Yorkshire.
Wow.
So they're saying it's a dialect. I just thought that we are all tykes. Anyway.
I wouldn't have called it a dialect, but that's English Oxford Dictionary. They make up as they go along, don't they?
Yeah. Well, apparently they had 5 new words every year to Oxford.
They do.
It's
and they take a couple out, I think. I'm not quite sure whether they do.
Does that?
But right. I know they do add words.
Well, let's hope they don't take swear words out. You'll be lost, Paul.
Well, are they in?
Well, there should be, because you use it as a language.
Yeah, I know, but they might not. They might not be in the English Oxford Dictionary. They could be in the English Alternative Oxford Dictionary.
There's that many different dictionaries now. I think everybody, the standard is the Oxford one, isn't it? But
I really don't know. I don't bother with it, quite honestly.
I'm still living in 60s, according to Real Honest Ghost.
I wish I was.
Oh, he says that they're in dictionary.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So I think swear words, when it gives you what it means at side. Most at swear words at side, it'll say "See Paul."
Yeah, will do. Yeah. There'll be 1 or 2 in there I've made up.
So what kind of week you had then, Paul?
It's been okay.
Has it?
Well, it's been like every other bloody week.
Have you managed to get in garden at all?
No.
It's been nice.
Yeah. I went out the other. I thought I'll go and make myself a copy. I'll take my book outside, read a couple of chapters and whatever, and go outside. I hadn't sat my ass down on the bench. And I thought, I ain't staying out here. It's bloody freezing.
Yeah.
So I came back in.
Right.
Evening, Paul.
Evening, Paul, lad. I hope you're well.
Yeah, so I haven't been out, and I don't know when the last time I went. The last time I went out was the camera thing.
Oh, the hospital.
Yeah.
Been visiting hospital quite a bit lately, haven't
Oh, it's a camera down the throat. That's where I want. Last one.
Yeah. Yeah. My wife had that, and she says it were for a couple of days. She had a right sore throat.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad, quite honestly. But the good thing is I've got no more orifices for them to stick a chupping camera down.
They've used them all up.
Yeah.
At least you've got right attitude. that you get job done, and
well, when you get there and they say, "Do you know what it is?" And, well, I really don't care what it is. Just do what you have to do.
Yeah.
That's
the best.
I'm not going to walk away. If you're going to say, "Oh, well, this is going to wait a little bit," well, I'm not going to walk away.
No. If it's there's no point worrying about it if you can do that. What's that?
Well, I didn't realise about that. That must be a very small camera.
Oh, I am ghost. Bloody hell, any man that reads that will know what I mean.
I never thought of that one.
He's horrible, is that, isn't it?
I don't know. I've never had it.
Oh, don't tell hospital. They'll have a go for you.
Yeah.
There's Paul over there. We've missed one.
Next time I go in, I might just say to him, how come you've missed me out? I've been told that there's another one I could have had.
Oh, Paul had it done as well.
Right.
Hey, you're not on your own, are you?
No. What does TRHG mean?
The Real Honest Ghost.
Oh, right.
Is abbreviated it.
Right, okay. I mean, it's because you said, well, Paul's had it done, but he's implying that it wasn't him, it was Dom.
No, he's put the real honest ghost.
No, I'm looking at.
Yeah, it's ways. I think he means that he's had it done as. I don't know. Anyway, I don't.
Yeah, know. Well, I haven't anyway, so that's a bonus, I suppose.
Yeah, yeah.
But they'd have to get the tweezers out for mine.
They're not coming nowhere near mine. You know something? I went to doctors and Mrs. has to come with me because I lie. So she went one time, you know, and she,
sorry, I read that comment.
When I had to have it done, I told them to knock me out. So they did. Hey, you'd have to knock me out as well, ghost lad. No, she took me to.
I'd like to watch the camera go down me.
Did you?
Well, you know, I'm a little bit upset because they wouldn't let me live stream it.
Oh, hey, are you one of them that can watch it all happening?
Oh, I watched it all. Yeah, I just sat there watching it all on the screen there, and I said to the nurse who was sat next to me and we're chatting away, and I said to her, "Why can't I just live stream this to me channel?" So she's, well, it's got to do with data protection. Well, it's my fucking data. Yeah. My ass, my data. So, well, anyway, they won't let me.
As I said, I went through my groin to get to my bottom of my leg for a trap. Not a trap. I said a trapped nerve earlier. It wasn't a trapped nerve. It were a blood clot there.
A clot. Yeah.
And they put something in to open it up, my vein. And they said, "There's camera there. Do you want us to put a television there screen for camera? Do you want us to put it on?"
I think it's interesting. I really do.
Oh, I couldn't do that.
I was impressed. And it takes your mind, you know, when you're laid there with half a mile of cable stuck up your ass, it takes your mind off it, doesn't it? quite honestly.
Well, when they did that to me, I mean, it's a different thing, I know, but all I felt was a warm sensation. That's all.
Yeah.
Honest ghost there. He's up at your standard there.
He's had more. If he's had the other one as well. I haven't had that one.
Evening, Gilly.
Yeah, good evening, Gilly, mate. Mate. What's that all about?
What?
Me.
Mate.
Saying mate. I don't normally say mate.
You know, in past, you know, I've done lives and I've been on lives and I've always presumed. I used to presume it would be he or a she. And I'd put a love out saying hello. And it was a bloody bloke, and I'd get it all wrong. And for months, because you can't really tell, can you?
No,
you can't really tell.
No, you just
know them. Like we know most of these. We know most of these.
Yeah, you'll know them. I don't. I know quite a few, but I still, because, like I've said before, I forget things, and I forget who's who and what's what occasionally. So
what's the weather been round your way? I'm asking chat now.
Oh, sorry.
I'm not interested in you. Shut up.
Okay.
You know I love you, Paul. Listen, people in the chat, have you had some good weather this last week?
It's been cracking the pavements at Scarborough. I know that.
Hiya, Black Queen. It's been grand here. We've had a good few days. Bit moggy, a bit close, but it's been very nice. Paul said similar to me.
Yeah, it has been cracking. According to Paul Hudson on the...
I don't like him, me.
I forgot what you call it. On the weather.
Weather.
He said it'll be about 28, 29 degrees by Friday.
Yeah. You know, you don't like Paul Levy.
Yeah.
That Paul Hudson, he's right giddy. He's too giddy for me. Just tell me bloody weather, don't dance about.
I don't often watch him for weather. I like Oh, I forgot his name's gone straight out of my head, but I like the woman on the BBC Breakfast, Carol Kirkwood. I like Carol Kirkwood.
Right.
So,
it's nice, been nice and warm in Newcastle. Scarborough,
yeah,
I bet Scarborough's been busy if it's hot. And
it's been cracking the pavements at Scarborough.
Well, if Scarborough's hot, usually Bridge, isn't it? It's not that far.
Well, yeah, it's Brid seems to get more of the wind off the North Sea, and I think it's because of the bay. You know, because we've got a big bay
right
at Brid, so it channels the wind into the town, whereas you know Scarborough's basically on. You know, it's not hemmed in, is it, Scarborough?
No,
if you know what I mean.
No. I'm with you. It's more of a full coastal view, isn't it? From where we are.
Whereas Brid is a big bay.
In fairness, Scarborough is on an hill, isn't it? So apart from the front, it's all up an hill, so that anything comes off the sea, it's not going to go up the hill, is it? That's my theory. Kelsey said it's been cracking flags. Nice.
It's cracking, isn't it? I love it. I love the weather. Off to Gran Canaria in a few weeks. It's hot over there. What's the point? What is the point in going to Gran Canaria? It's red hot here.
Well, some like the summer holidays, don't they? I'm with you on that one, Paul. I think we've got a beautiful country, and when we get a nice day, if you're out and about, it's beautiful countryside here. But some, some go for the culture and and it's a switch off from reality, isn't it? For some.
I don't know. To tell you the truth, the state of the world at the moment, I'd be very, very wary of going anywhere. Tell you the truth.
Would you?
Well, yeah, especially that way.
Yeah.
You know, North Africa, Middle East, all those countries, I would not step foot in them. I'd be nowhere near.
Why is that?
Because of all this shit that's happening. You've got them fucking blowing each other up from one half, from Aden across to Israel, from Israel into Iran, Iran into fucking Israel. They're all firing shit at each other.
Well, yeah.
And, common sense tells you it's going to get bigger. It ain't going to get smaller, You've got that fat, useless twat, again, who'll come in and stick his oar in and start helping the Yanks. And then you've got the pro-ride twat who sits in our parliament. He'll sit there and climb up his ass and say, oh, yeah, we'll send you some RAF jets if you want. They'll help you. Because that's how it fucking works. Anyway, let's get off that fat, useless twat. Sharon, good evening.
Good evening, Sharon, my fave.
So I would be a little bit wary about going further than Gibraltar way, further south than Gibraltar, quite honestly. Well, and then, of course, I'd still think twice. I wouldn't even contemplate going to Turkey.
Would you not? No,
that's shit.
It borders on Afghanistan and Iran.
Oh, it's mad. It's a mad world we're living in. And then what's going to happen in 5 weeks' time? You're going to have all these people saying, "Well, the fucking government's left us. We're stuck in Israel. We're stuck in Iran. We're stuck up my fucking ass or whatever, and the government's doing nothing to get us back." Well, they shouldn't be fucking there.
That's politics.
It is.
You've brought it to table.
Sorry, I do apologise. Let's go back to something different.
What I'm saying is these holidays, these package holidays like Paul's going on there. What I've noticed, and people have told me, because I don't do it, I don't do them anymore now. I'm happy in this country. I've got a static caravan, Nostell Priory in near Wakefield. It's beautiful National Trust land. Anyway, aside that, what the people are telling me is that these package holidays now, a lot of them, that they're all inclusive.
Yeah.
And they're like in a compound, so you never even leave compound.
Yeah. So everything's paid for.
Yeah,
You know, so before you go, you know what you've spent. That's you know, I can see the
attraction at that time.
I can see the attraction. Paul, I'm not having a go at you, mate. You go on your holidays.
But you know that they have like big compounds, big
Yeah,
everything there. There's a fun fair there. There's bloody, you know, restaurants all within the city.
I'm not knocking it.
Some of the
I'm
places,
just saying it's a little bit.
Yeah,
it's a little bit risky, I think.
But some of these countries that you book them and they'll say, well, it's not safe to leave the compound.
Yeah.
To me,
and to tell you the truth, I'm not quite sure in my head where Gran Canaria is. Is that out in the Atlantic? Is that where it is? It's not in the Med, is it?
Into off Spain, towards Africa, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's in the Atlantic, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's not in the Med, so you know it's a little way out. So I can't see that being a bit of a bummer as such.
It's the other side of Spain, I think. It's but it is over that way towards
Africa.
But that's where it's all about the weather. I mean, they say that we get as weather from Africa, but we don't bloody eat, do we?
Yeah, we do sometimes.
We
do sometimes. I mean, you know, we've had 6 weeks of cracking weather.
Yeah.
And you know, most of it wasn't summer, was it? I don't know if we're in summer yet.
Well, when people ask me, do you remember last summer? I say, what day was that?
Yeah, I remember it well. It was a Saturday.
Paul's going, he's taking pains, taking kids. So
yeah, no, it's nice. It is nice. As I said, Paul, I'm not knocking you, and I'm not having a go. I'm just saying, you know, it's a little bit risky if you're going south of Spain, or you know, that way, the other side of the fucking water.
It says it's Atlantic Ocean, not Mediterranean.
It's what?
Atlantic Ocean.
That's what I said.
No, you said Mediterranean.
No, I said it's not in the Mediterranean.
Oh, right.
It's in the Atlantic Ocean.
All right.
So, yeah.
Well, yeah. Enjoy, mate. He feels guilty now. Look, you've upset him.
No, he doesn't.
He does. He thinks he's upset you. Listen, Paul.
He hasn't.
Paul 46. Don't worry. I've upset him loads. He always comes back.
He hasn't upset me at all.
I have. He always comes back and you'll end up friends, don't worry. just take it forward. Have you got on and off switch, Paul? Just switch it off when he starts at you.
Yeah, just ignore me. Easy, mate.
He's taking his catapult look. So
yeah, I'm just it's going to be a David and Goliath thing, isn't it? But yeah,
it is what it is. Anyway, we don't want any.
Well, saying that, I mean, I'm an older generation, aren't I? I'm an older person, so if I was in my 30s and 40s or whatever, I wouldn't think twice about getting on a plane and pissing off somewhere.
No,
but I do nowadays.
Well, when you're younger, your confidence is high, and you're confident of dealing with anything, aren't you?
And quite honestly, there's nowhere left that I can sit and say, "Oh, I'd love to go there. I haven't been there," or you know what I mean.
Well, did you travel when you did your service? When you were
yeah, went all around the world.
Did you?
Yeah.
Have you got any stories to tell us, or is it saved?
Oh no, you don't want to hear my stories.
Why not?
I'm saving them for my book.
And when you cooked, how many were you cooking for at a time?
All depends, mate. Yeah, I don't know. Can you remember the what was it called now? The oil tanker that went aground down south, and I think it was in the 60s, mid-60s, maybe.
Say, going way back there.
No, mid-60s, maybe a bit later in towards the 70s, if you know what I mean.
Vaguely.
It was called the Tory Canyon,
Right.
and it was full of oil. And the government sent uggins and uggins and uggins of soldiers down to the south coast to be ready for all this oil coming ashore.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, somebody had to feed them, and it was us. So, and I seem to recall that the place we were at, and I can't remember the exact place, but the place we were at, there was 2,500 troops.
Wow.
Well, that's nearly the whole of the British Army at the moment, but it wasn't then.
Right.
But yeah, so we were feeding 2,500 people.
So how many would there be in your team, a chef's cook?
Oh, you know, 20, 30, maybe 40 people.
So
you know, we didn't only have one kitchen; we'd have had 3 or 4 kitchens, and
so you'd have to be disciplined for coordination with all that business, wouldn't you?
Yeah, and it was 3 meals a day.
Really? So when you finished, when you would start again?
Yeah, and you had to, you know, do pack up lunches and all that kind of shit.
Right.
Yeah, it was a bit hectic for about 3 weeks. I think we did that, and then the government decided that they were going to send the RAF in and bomb the shit out of this tanker and sink it.
Oh,
and that's what they did. They flew in and blew it to bits.
Right.
And I can't remember whether any of the oil made it to shore. It's such a long time ago, but I can remember it was the very first. I wasn't quite 18, so it was my very first big type operation thing.
Right.
Straight out of catering college.
Right.
And I can remember doing pack up lunches. And in the army, you have a little book thing, you know. Well, you have a catering manual, and in this manual, it tells you what you've got to put in for pack lunch A, pack lunch B, pack lunch C. So you knew exactly what you were doing. And of course, also all the pack lunches had two sandwiches. When I say 2 sandwiches, it's 2 slices of bread with something in the middle.
Right.
And I can remember about 5 o'clock in the morning going into the kitchen, and we had uggins and uggins of tables, 6-foot tables, stainless steel tables, all in a row. And you had one bloke at one side, one bloke at the other, opening a loaf of bread and laying out this bread in rows all along these tables. And they were counting them. So it's, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. So you knew how many, and you had to get, and I think for us, it was about 1,000 sandwiches to do. So you had to get 500 sandwiches along this thing.
Wow.
And then as they're going along, unpacking these loaves, putting the bread on the thing, 2 blokes are coming along, one at either side, with a big pan of butter and a paintbrush. Painting the fucking bread. Just painting the bread as they went down. So that was the bread. Then you'd have somebody come in, and if it was, I don't know, corned beef or whatever, the slice of corned beef would go on, they'd go down. If it was onions going with it, the onion guys would go down. Then the bread guy would come back, and you buttered his other side of the bread, and he comes back and puts it down. Then another bloke comes along and puts the next slice down, and you butter that, and it goes through the whole thing again. And then you cut them, you cut them, you don't cut crusts off, but you cut them into half and whatever.
Yeah.
And then 4 or 5 blokes at the far end there start cling filming them.
Right.
And then they went into like a big thing, so you have buckets of fruit, and then you had to make tea and coffee, big urns of tea and coffee. You had to have all them ready. So
it's interesting. You say you don't see this as interesting, but it is interesting.
Evening, Tom.
It's interesting stuff to listen to, because my dad did his national service. He wanted I suppose he did his bit, you know. He wanted,
Yeah.
he wanted out of choice, if you like, but he did it in RAF. Now, he used to tell me, he said the first 3, I can't remember, a week, a month, he says, it was square bashing. He says, if you got through that, you were fine. He says, that were rough. Can you remember that then, doing that?
Oh, God, yeah. I could, when I was at Aldershot, that's where the Army School of Catering was. Now, well, you've got to remember, I was less than 16. You know, I think it was September 1966, I think. Yeah. No, it's August 1966. So I was 15, just. Yeah. Never been away from home, ever. The furthest I've been away from home is Hull Fair.
Right.
From Brid to Hull Fair. That's the furthest I've ever been. My mum put me on a train in York because they sent me a ticket through. Mum put me on the train in York, and I had to get the train to York, from York to King's Cross, get the underground thing across to, I can't remember the other station, not Victoria, it's one of the other stations that does the South Coast. Got to that station, then got on the train for Aldershot.
Right.
And like I say, I'm 15 years old, never been away from home. So I'm basically shitting myself on this train. And anyway, I gets up at Aldershot railway station, and there's these 3 big sergeants stood there in uniform, you know, all the shit. And as you got off the train, are you in the catering court? Yeah. Don't yes me, it's fucking sir now. Get your ass over here.
That's how my dad told me there were.
Oh, you know, and then you get there, and there'll be 20 or 30 other blokes that have already got there, or you know, there's some still more to come. So you waited there, and then they stuck you on a 3-ton truck and said, right, no noise, no fucking smoking. And we're going to take you to your barracks. And away we went. We get to the barracks, and there's more fucking soldiers there in uniform shouting at you, this is where you're sleeping tonight. Get your ass in them steps. That's your bed. Fucking make your bed now, and blah. And then at 7 o'clock, they came in and said, right, get in fucking bed now, because you're going to be up at 4 in the morning. Fucking 7 o'clock, and I've been to bed in my life at 7 o'clock. What's it all about?
Did you wonder what the hell were going on? Did you?
Yeah.
Last week I was telling me, my mum, what's going on?
and then the first night must have been about 1 in the morning. All of a sudden, all the lights went on in the barrack room, and I think there was about 10 or 11 of us in this one barrack room, all young kids, and in charges, more young kids, but not, you know, older kids than what I was.
Yeah.
But, shouting and screaming and come in, flung the windows open, got your bed and fucking threw it out the window, and, you know, just wrecked the whole fucking place. And that was your initiation for the night.
Really?
And then, of course, once they'd gone, you got the sergeant who was in his own little room next to where we were, the barrack room we had. He came out and said, what's all this fucking noise for you lot? Told you, get to fucking sleep. Well, so my bed's outside sleep on the fucking floor. So, you can see where I get the swear words come from, can't you? Because that's what it was like.
Yeah.
It was scary.
Very similar to what my father told me.
Scary.
But he said that once you got through all that, it were a different, you know, it were different. But
it was once you'd taken the shit, you know, off you know, and it's not when you say the older people, it's 17 and 18-year-old kids.
Yeah.
You know, you're 16 and they're 17, 18. They've been there 2 2.5 years or whatever, they know the ropes.
Yes.
And they're only doing to you what was done to them.
That's right. That's right.
No, so yeah, if you could put up with it, some couldn't. Some fucking went home the next day.
Is there?
Yeah, because
Too much for them.
Yeah.
But you stuck it out, Paul. You got.
I stuck it out, because
Yeah, but
well, what got me through was the thought that in 2 years' time I'll be able to do it to some little shit walking through the door when they're 16.
But,
Yeah.
this is part of the respect we have for anybody who served. Did the service, because it's it is a special thing. I mean, can you imagine them having that routine today? Which I don't.
No, it wouldn't happen. It would not fucking happen. Telling you now.
It's a different world today, isn't it?
These snowflakes would be phoning up their fucking member of parliament saying, "I want a House of Commons review."
Yeah.
Can't do that.
It's different.
Crackers.
I do believe they still have this square bashing. I don't know why do they call it that?
Well, because you're marching up and down like a fucking clockwork orange day and night.
The square.
Yeah, because it instills the discipline into you, and basically you do everything by command.
Yes.
And you learn that whoever shouts the command is the one in charge. And if he says shit, you shit. And if he says salute, you salute.
Yeah, you don't question it.
No questions.
No.
And then of course, when they're teaching you how to march properly, it's all done with numbers.
Right.
So you hear them nowadays saying left by the left, quick march, and left, right. Well, it wasn't that when you were training. Everything was a number. So of course, if you were going to do an about turn, and it was stop, 1, 2, 3, forward.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
Everything was done by numbers. So when you saluted, it was up 2, 3, down 2, 3.
Right. It looks like Tom must have done some time into. Let's remember an army marches on their tummy.
They do, yeah. Well, I don't know if they do nowadays, because the food in the army is absolute ripe.
Is it?
Yeah, because it's all gone out to
all that.
I don't know what you call it.
Is it done by catering companies now, and it's shipped in?
The army don't cook for them.
They don't do it themselves.
No, we don't. We have, I think, we still do have army chefs, because when you go in the field, you have to feed the troops.
Right.
So somebody has to feed them. So it's the army chefs feed them.
Yeah.
But it's a case of only when you're going into the field that the army chefs feed the troops.
Right.
You don't feed them in the barracks, because it's all done by outside catering companies, and everything is charged. When I was young, I didn't have to spend a penny for food, accommodation. All I had to, with my 10 shilling a week I got in my hand, all I had to spend in that 10 bob was I had to get a pair of bootlaces every week. I had to get a tin of boot polish every week, and I had to get 5 razor blades every week.
Right.
Even if I didn't shave, I still had to get them. Because when I was 16, I didn't shave. I didn't need to bloody shave. So your 10 bob went there. And then what you were left with is what you could spend.
Now, did you think you have any traits you do on a daily basis that you don't realise you got from that? Because my father used to always have his boots highly polished, and he used to
Bob.
And his creases in his trousers always.
I do like creases in my pants. I can honestly say I do like them.
And I used to say, you get that from your time in RAF, and he went, no, I didn't, but it obviously did.
It was, yeah. It's no, I do. It's a bit like, and nowadays I don't iron, as you can tell. I don't iron. I just hang it over a thing, let it dry.
Yeah.
So I don't iron, but you know, when I was a bit younger, when I was in the pubs, I would iron my shirts, and I would iron them the way I used to iron them in the army. So I'd have three like creases down across my back.
Right. That's right. He used to say that.
Yeah.
I mean, he tried to show me mum how to do it, and she went by me. He
Yeah,
can't tell me how to iron something. He says, no, this is how it's done, and this is how we need. So it had an effect on him, you know.
No, because it was I forgot what you call it. I was reading that comment. Everything has an effect.
Yeah.
On what you do.
Well,
and I could tell you how one effect. Sorry.
Yeah,
one effect was when I came out of the army. I came out of the army in 1976, I think.
All right.
And I went to, don't know what you call it. Well, it was a dole office then.
Right.
So I went to the dole office to sign on because that's what I was told I had to do.
Right.
So I said to my mum on the morning, I says, I'm going down to the dole office, mum. So she says, yeah, I'll see you in a bit. In my upper box. And I got there. I walked up to this counter and this woman says, yeah, how can I help? Or whatever she said. I can't remember exactly what she said, but so I said, I've come to sign on. Is it first time? Yeah. Oh, go and sit over there for a little while and somebody will come across to you. Okay. And I went across and I sat there and I sat there and I sat there and I sat there. And at 2:30 in the afternoon, my brother walked in. And he says, what are you doing there? I said, she told me to wait. I said, are you fucking stupid? Come with me. And he walked across to her and said, what the fuck are you treating this man like this for? Get him sorted out. And she did straight away.
Right.
And, you know, I wouldn't accept that now. If somebody said to me, oh, just go over there for 5 minutes. After 5 minutes, I'd be there saying, hey, the 5 minutes is up.
And we could see that how we are, yeah.
Yeah. But then I was all I'd ever known was to be told what to do, and I had to do it.
Yes.
So anybody who I thought was in authority, if they said, go over there and sit down and wait, or if she'd have said to me, go over there and take all your clothes off, I'd have done it. Do you know what I mean?
Yes, that's because that was how you train.
Because that's what I've been through since I was 16 years of age.
Yes.
And of course, I'm what, 26 when I'm coming out.
Yeah.
And I'm still in the 16-year of age brain, if that makes sense. You know, I haven't grown up.
Yeah. I mean, now
anyway.
The real honest ghost. The ghost says they still do it. They still do the numbers in the cadets, which
well, that's how they train them.
Right.
Numbers.
Right. But you said you said that it's all left right now, isn't it? But in the cadets, it must be just
no, it's left right. Once you've got through your training.
Right. So that's how they did the training.
So when you're in the training, everything is done by numbers. So that you know it's not difficult in your head to work out. So like I showed you when you salute, it's up 2, 3, down 2, 3.
Yeah.
And the 2, 3 is the gap.
Yeah.
You know, so if you're coming, I don't know, there's quite a lot I can think of, you know, changing. When we used to have these long rifles, and SLRs they were called, but they were long. They're not these short little shitty things I've got nowadays. These were long, like sniper rifles. They weren't snipers, but and you, of course, when you had that at your side, then when he shouts, change. I can't remember what. Change shoulders. I don't think that's the right word, but change arms or whatever. You don't just go here. You know what I mean? You do it by numbers, and it's up. So up is 1. Slap it is 2. You know. Now you'll have seen if you watched if you watched not the changing of the guard, if you watched the thing on Sunday, what do you call that thing on Sunday? King's Birthdays Parade. If you watched all them guards and the guy at the front shouts "Royal Salute, present arms," and they bring it up, slap it, bring it forward, put back, ram it down, slap it again. Now that's taught by numbers. Right. That's how they're taught. It's it's 5 numbers. So it's up, 2, 3, over, 2, 3, slap, 2, 3. You know, even fixing your bayonet was exactly the same. Right. All done by numbers.
So it proves it still works if they're doing.
Yeah, it's because it, you know, it trains your body into doing. You know, it's a bit like, I don't know, the long distance runners. They get the body knows how to run properly, so it gets into that
rhythm. Yeah,
proper rhythm.
Yeah, yeah. It's
a bit like good sex. You get into proper rhythm, and you've cracked it, haven't you?
Well, that's it. You dropped that one in, didn't you?
I thought I would, just to see if you were listening.
Of course I am. You see, the thing is, Paul, I'm sure that we've got some interesting chat, you know, about what you're talking about. Now, these stories that you're telling us and things you're telling us, we don't know about. And it's very interesting, though, Paul.
I've got lots of stories.
But it's very interesting stories, but you brush them off. You're like, I don't need to say that. But it's interesting. Yeah, it's but it is lovely. I'm just what Ghost says there. It is lovely to watch these parades, like the Trooping of the Colour, and the discipline is so unbelievably.
And it's because they train.
Right.
And I don't know if you watched it, and the regimental sergeant major, I can't remember his name, who was on this weekend. It was his last one. Mm-hmm. But he has a thing called the pace stick. Have you seen them where they've got this stick under their arm?
Yeah.
Well, that's a pace stick. Mm-hmm. And what that does is it opens up.
Is it paste?
No, pace.
Pace.
Pace. It's a pace
as in
stick.
walk.
Yeah. So you can open it up, and it opens up at 30 inches, which is the pace.
Right.
So when they come to set out the Royal Horse, whatever you call that place where they did the parade, when they come to set that all out, it's all done with a pace stick. So he'll walk down, say 40 paces, do 40, you stand there. 30 paces, you stand there.
Right.
16 paces, the band stands there. And it's all done with paces. And then you'll see, if you watch closely enough on the parade ground, you'll see soldiers stood with their flag in their arm. Just stood there.
Right. That's right.
And they're the ones who are letting everybody else know that this is 30 paces. Right. So they know where they've got to turn.
And you see, that's something that most of us don't know. And it's like the pace stick. Most folk will think, well, is that just something that the sergeant has to, or he has to get your attention, sort of thing? That's all.
No. Well, you can do all sorts with a pace stick, but you know, it's basically what it says in the name, pace stick. So it measures paces, and I can't remember whether it's the average pace or whatever the pace is, but the army's pace is 30 inch.
Right.
So if you're only short-ass little git, you have to open your legs a lot, you know, to get your 30 inches, if you see what I mean. You know, tall bloke.
You can take another way, can that?
Well, you know, saying that, I can remember a drill sergeant when I was really young, and we'd be marching around this parade ground, just marching around the parade ground, and it'd be left, right, blah, blah, blah. And then if somebody was getting a bit short on the pace, he'd shout them, open your fucking legs, you're not going to lose anything, you little shit. Catch up. Oh God, yeah.
I don't. Obviously, it's, I don't want to bring anybody's family into it, but your son, part of the military,
He was. I don't think he is now.
right?
He's not now.
Because the real honest ghost says apparently it's an honour to be a king's guard. Wasn't he part of that?
Yes.
Like it was when the Queen was here, and someone said, not everyone gets accepted for it. So it's yeah. But I think a lot of that's tradition.
Well, that's not quite right. What he's saying there. The King's Guard is a troop,
right?
And it's one, and it'll be a troop of one of the foot regiments. So that it'll either be the Grenadiers, Coldstreamers, Irish Guards, Scots, Welsh. Right. So it'll be one of those. Will be the King's Guard for a period of time. So the King's Guard do all the sentry duties outside all the palaces, and all that kind of shit.
Right.
And the King's Guard from the Coldstream Guards is 7 Company, because 7 Company is the company where all the newbies go into.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
So it gets them into training how to be a ceremonial soldier rather than be a fighting soldier, because they're still fighting soldiers.
Yeah, they're still basically basic trained.
When like this last Sunday they were out there on parade, and I know whoever, some squadron leader or whatever, was chatting in the background, and he said, "Oh, there's the Sergeant Joe Bloggs at the front there. Well, tomorrow he's on a flight to Cyprus." So he's up his ceremonial duties and he's across to Cyprus.
Right. That's So he's still got the skills. He's still trained.
Yeah, because it's a bit like me when I was a cook. You were a soldier first and a cook second.
Yes.
You weren't a cook first and a soldier second. You were a soldier first and a cook second. So soldiering always came first.
That's a great thing to put it that way, because that's what basically it's all about, being a soldier.
Yeah.
But it's management as well. It's been, Kelsey must have been doing a bit of Googling, because she says at the palace they've got base sticks dating back hundreds of years.
Yeah, they have.
They must just have them on display.
No, they come to, the pastor, these guys who sit on the horses with their tin hats on and the white and red plumes and whatever.
Yeah.
Quite a lot of those helmets are passed down from father to son.
Right.
Lots of them.
Right.
It's not a...
Oh, I didn't know that. I thought it was something you every individual had, and it's part of you, it's part of your uniform, and you get just for you.
Well, you do. If you haven't got one, they'll issue you with one.
Right.
But of course, if your dad's was in the Royal Horse Artillery or whatever it was, you can use his.
Right.
Because that's tradition. That's how tradition works.
Yes.
It's a bit like medals, isn't it?
Yeah.
I stand there with my medal, and yet my son, if he was on parade and I was dead, of course, he would be able to stand there with my medal on his chest on this side.
There's a lot of proud.
Because that's tradition. That's how it works.
But it's proud, and they know for a fact that lad.
No, my earpiece is dropped out. Not my ring piece, my earpiece.
I'll let him put it back in.
But
yeah, it's as I said, they know that these soldiers will be proud to wear the father's whatever.
Yeah, it is. Now, it's a proud thing.
Kelsey says, no Googling, I've seen them for myself. The royal ones are more ornate.
Yeah, they will be, because they're bloody royal.
But they won't use them because they're bloody useless, aren't they? Royals.
Well, no, they will. They've done, Not sticking up for anybody, Bobby, but they've done their time. They've still
they've done
served.
Yeah, but they went in at a different level to the rest of them.
No, all of them did. Mountbatten didn't when he went in.
Yeah.
Mountbatten, when he went in, just before the Second World War, he went in as a subaltern.
Right.
Which is the lowest rank of officer you could be.
Right.
And he went in as that. And he worked his way through. It wasn't because he was, I don't know, the uncle of the king or whatever. He worked his way up and he
ended up being top man, didn't he? What was his title?
Well, I'm not on about that Mountbatten. I'm on about the Queen's husband.
Oh, you mean what were he called?
Duke of Edinburgh.
Philip, yeah.
Philip.
Prince Philip.
Well, Prince Philip wasn't I don't think he was a Mountbatten, but Uncle Bertie, which was Mountbatten, was like his father, because Duke of Edinburgh was from Greek royalty.
Yeah, he's got
well, he was Greek royalty.
That's
and
right.
Of course, the Greek royalty was skinters. They had no money, nothing.
They did what they did in the old days. They found another royal family to marry just to collaborate.
Yeah.
They were always offering the daughters to other royals, weren't they? Back in
Yeah,
But
I think it had changed then. But that's how he started.
Right.
Is the Duke of Edinburgh, started as a subaltern and then started to work his way up. And then, of course, when he got married to Princess Elizabeth, they went to Malta in married accommodation.
Right. Oh, yeah. Now, Tom says, I'm entitled to march with my father's medals, including the George Cross.
Yeah, of course you are. Everybody's entitled to march. You can march with your grandfather's. You can march with your grandfather's medals.
Right.
You just march with. You just carry them on the different side. On the left-hand chest is yours. On the right-hand chest is your ancestors.
Right.
And as long as they're a direct ancestor, you can carry theirs.
It's things that a lot of people don't know. I didn't realise you were so intelligent, Paul.
Well, I'm not. I'm not intelligent. I know. I was in the army, so I understand. I'm proud.
Well,
I am proud that I served.
Yes.
I really am. And no matter what anybody ever says to me, they will never get me away from the thought that we're the best.
Right.
And it won't get me from the thought that when I was 15 years of age, I stood in a little smelly office in the middle of Hull, raised my right hand
and swore
allegiance to the Queen.
Yes.
And all her successors. And that oath has never, ever wavered. It'll never waver.
No. It's pride in what you did, Paul.
Yeah, and I'm quite, if they called on me today to go, I'd go.
Right.
Well, I wouldn't think twice about it. It'd take me a lot to get there, but I'd still go.
Now and again in our local Tesco's, we see a couple of lads, and they're pensioners, and they've got the service. Look very smart. They'll have like a suit on with all the medals and a berry maybe, and they'll collect, for charity. And I always shake their hand and I'll say to them, "Thanks for your service." And wife gets embarrassed. She's like, "What are you doing that for?"
No, why should you be embarrassed if you're proud of what they're doing? That's the thing.
Yeah, but the today's generation don't do what.
And it'll give them a boost.
Yeah,
that somebody's actually come up and said thank you.
Yeah, because I think it's important to thank them.
Yeah, it is. I think it is. Yes, Tom, you're exactly right there. He was born in Corfu and he had Danish parents, but his Greek side of the family were royals.
We'll. But
I don't know if his Danish was, but the Greek was.
We're going to have to pick up on this, Paul, because it's been very interesting.
Is it?
You've got a lot of.
I bored me fucking head off. Tell you the truth, Bobby.
It might bore you, but it's stuff like making the sandwiches. It's very interesting.
Oh, that's making the sandwiches.
No,
I tell you what. When we went to, I'll just come up with another quick one. Is it? No, we've got a bit of time. Not long. We used to do in November time when I was with the Royal Engineers.
Mm-hmm.
We used to do a 6-week maneuvers in Germany, and it was, training for war against Putin's shit, doing all that shit. We used to have to go out 2 or 3 weeks before anybody else because we used to have to build the landing pads for these fucking Harrier jump jets that can land anywhere.
Yeah.
But apparently they can't land anywhere because they need a fucking pad to land on. And we had to go out and build these pads.
They're scary, them, aren't they? Them jump jets.
Oh, I've been in one. I've been in one.
What I've seen is that they just stop dead and go down.
Yeah. No, I've been. I flew from Germany to England in one on the mail run. We came across to pick the mail up.
Yeah.
And I was in a jump jet.
Right.
Proud as fuck. Everybody was jealous as shit.
That, wasn't it? I bet it a beast.
Yeah, it was, yeah.
Wow.
Anyway, and I've forgotten what I was going to tell you now about.
Sorry.
No, it's all right because I've forgotten. It'll come back for the next time we talk anyway. Well, if anybody's interested, I can go over it again.
Of course we are.
Go on. It was a story about when we used to go across to Germany for 6 weeks.
We'll pick up on that next time. But listen, Kelsey's got a pen and paper out and she's been taking notes for. Am I right, Kelsey? Because she's put in this chat earlier on, save the juicy bits for the book, she says.
Oh, these aren't juicy bits. I've got some right juicy bits.
So
I can tell you now, I once got put on Jankers for 3 weeks.
Right.
And it was while I was in Northern Ireland.
I take it that's discipline.
Yeah, I lost all privileges. Yeah. I lost privileges for 3 weeks, but I lost pay for 7 days. So I lost pay for 7 days, 3 weeks privileges. I was in Northern Ireland at the time, so it didn't make any difference about the privileges because you didn't fucking have any. You couldn't go out. But it just meant I went out on more patrols. But anyway, the reason I got on this charge was you'll have gathered that I've got a really sick sense of humour. And I don't know where I've got it from, but I've got it. I've just got this sick sense of humour.
Right.
And we were in the kitchen one afternoon getting stuff ready for the troops coming in for dinner, at 5 o'clock, tea, whatever you want to call it. And somebody shouts through the door, we've just lost Captain... his name's just gone straight out of my head. Anyway, we just lost Captain so-and-so, his dog handler and the dog to a bomb in whatever. Oh. And what did stupid me do? What did I do? Stupid sense of humour to try, not get upset or whatever. I turned around and I said, well, that's 2 less for tea.
Did you realise straight away?
Yeah, I did. But... I got 7 days loss of pay and 2 weeks of loss of privileges. But that's the way. That's how I dealt with things.
Yes.
No. Anyway. So anyway, folks, thanks for coming, and we'll let Bobby say his bits and bobs and whatever.
Yeah, Tom's just put up there. Princess Alice, Prince Philip's mother had a fascinating life story. She ended up a Greek Orthodox nun, and they called her crazy.
They did.
Listen, I'll ask Paul about this story. Now,
I don't know a lot about that one. I can remember that she used to have to live in some of the Queen's accommodation at one point. Anyway, we'll
start off with that question next week, Tom. Thanks for watching, guys. It's been a really good one, and thank you very much, Paul, for the information. The story.
It's all right. I can, once I get my mind in gear, and things come into my head, I can get my mouth in gear as well. and it can come out.
I just want to. I'll apologise to Kelsey because she don't want you telling this story. She's sulking now because she wants it for book. Anyway, guys, thanks for tuning in, and I'll pass you over to Paul, and I'll see you next week.
Yeah, so thanks, folks, for coming. I've enjoyed me hour and whatever it is, few minutes, hour and 5 minutes. And just remember, one of those if you don't like it, one of those if you do like it, and if you haven't, click the bell, and we appreciate it. Thanks for coming. We'll be back next Monday, same time, same place, beaming you live from the Yorkshire. The word's gone. Sorry. I'll think of it next week. So live long and prosper. Take care. TTFN.
Bye now.